Punch comes to face. Defend by pushing punch away from face. Hello everyone, I'm Tim. Did you know... Yeah, today we're going to do something different. I'm going to show you 5 important karate techniques. These are all types of defenses. I'm going to show you the individual version as you would do in Kihon practice or in kata. Then I'll show you how you would train them with a partner, but in the wrong way. Finally, I'll show you a partner drill you can practice in your own dojo. Tim, can you provide some explanations while I perform these techniques? Sure.
Thanks. Okay, here we go. First, we have Gidembarai.
Okay, Gedambarai. For many of us, the first block we learn, not just in Wado-ryu and Shotokan, but also in Goju-ryu and Shito-ryu. Let me also just say, I know block isn't the right term for these techniques, but don't shoot me if I do. I mean defensive technique, and I know uke means to receive. Now, Gedambarai is traditionally a low defense. I mean, that's about what the term translates to. Let's see what Dojo Tim does with it. Alright, so you see his stance is Zenko Sudachi. This is the stance we also mostly use in Wado-ryu for Gidembarai and probably most of the other techniques as well. Notice this move here. Remember that, it will become more important in the effective drill. Now you see, Gedambarai is often taught as a way to parry an oncoming maigeri or front kick. However, I don't think that this is the ideal way to defend from a front kick. Let's see the proper drill. I believe most of these drills will be defenses against punching opponents. This one is no different. The opponent attacks with a forward punch or jab. Remember that upwards motion of the arm? Here, Tim uses it to parry the attack while he closes the distance. He grabs the wrist of his opponent and strikes into either the upper leg or the groin of the opponent.
Alright, next up is Jodan Uke, Agi Uke, Jodan Uke, or whatever you want to call it.
Jodan Uke is one of the first defensive techniques you learn in many karate styles. I believe this is the right way to go, as it is a high defense or a high block, and we generally want to protect our face. Not too much to add here. Let's take a look. See, as you can see, Tim uses Zenko Sudachi again, as it's the stance we generally use in Wado-ryu. Note how his arm goes upwards in front of his face and then pivots around the axis of the wrist and his shoulder. I have a feeling that the difference between this drill and the more practical one will not be so great, as Jodan Uke is pretty straightforward. Punch comes to face, defend by pushing punch away from face. Here the same movement is used twice. The first time as a defensive technique and the second time as an elbow attack. You can also see him using his opposite arm to lock the opponent's arm in place, to make sure the counter strike makes contact. This is a great way to use Hikite.
That's right. I used Hikite in the previous drill too, remember? Now the next one is Soto Uke or Uchi Uke, depending on what style you do. I will show both blocks.
It seems predictable for many seasoned karateka, but these blocks are taught to beginning karateka for a reason. They're relatively simple to learn, but they cover a lot of ground when it comes to defending against common attacks. You can see the main difference is the direction of the fist, where one goes from the opposite hip towards the shoulder, the other one starts from about the ear and goes towards the opposite shoulder. Both blocks usually defend against attacks to the body, but can be used to defend attacks against attacks to the head as well. There, you see how he uses both blocks for the same goal? Okay, here there is an attack to the body. Tim turns his own body and uses his momentum to defend the attack. Next, he grabs the arm, which is extended, pushes the opponent's shoulder and locks the arm between his upper body and his upper leg. Finally, he holds on to the wrist to complete an armbar. Let's see that again. Oh, I see there is another drill. This time, Tim uses the other block. He stops the attack to the head by using the block and dropping down into a nekwashidashi, or a cat stance. He then goes around the opponent's arm from below and smacks into his elbow with his open hand. Finally, he scoops down and punches towards upwards while kneeing the opponent. I believe this is a possible application for the opening techniques of Pinan or Heian Sandan.
That's right. Okay, we're almost done. I thought for the last two techniques we'd go a little more advanced.
Sure. What did you have in mind?
Let's go for Shuto Uke and Manji Uke.
Okay, an open-handed and a double-handed block then.
Exactly. Let's begin with Shuto Uke.
Shuto Uke may be one of my personal favorites. It's generally done in a cat stance, and in Wado-ryu it makes its first appearance in Pinan Shodan. Notice how the hikite arm is placed diagonally across the body. You see that the way these wrong applications are usually very superficial and only look at what the front arm does. Oh, I did not expect this. This isn't really great for self-defense. This is more an exercise to practice the movements with. Great fun and challenging at the same time. Let's see if he also has a more practical drill. There, you see how he moves into the line of the attack? He brings his arm up in front of his head and thrusts forward between the opponent's head and the attacking arm. Then, using knowledge of basic anatomy, he locks the opponent's arm in place and lands the defensive blow to the neck of the opponent.
That's right. Be careful when you practice this, because you move forward blindly with open hands and there is a possibility you hit your opponent in the eyes.
Of course, safety first with all these exercises.
To finish off, we'll do Manji Uke.
Manji Uke is named after its shape. It's shaped like a manji or swastika. Now, I'm not going into the historical significance of the shape, that would be for another video. Anyway, if it looks like one arm performs Gidembarai and the other performs Soto or Uchi Uke, but you'll soon see this is not the case. Also, Tim uses Zenko Sudachi, so he is performing Manji Uke as it appears in Pinan or Heian Godan. Can we all just agree to not do this anymore? This is fun. So, after parrying the attack, Tim moves in behind the opponent. The parrying arm in front of the opponent's body, he drops down to hook his other arm under the opponent's leading leg and then comes back up again while making his arm switch place. The resulting movement makes the opponent fall down on his back. Be careful when performing.
There you go. 5 techniques to practice with your partner, straight from the basic kata. I have to go now. The class is about to continue. Thanks for your help.
Thanks for the demonstration.
You're welcome. See ya.
What did you think? Do you already practice these techniques? How do you utilize them? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. For now, let me wish you a great day, train well, and as always, thanks for watching.